What's up, Dallas Cowboys fans? It's your old friend Andy Tim here with your Dallas Cowboys Daily Blitz right here on FanStream Sports Dallas, coming at you on a Friday. We got a little bit of breaking news, kind of, and to say that it's unexpected would not be accurate. To say that it's a surprise would be inaccurate. To say that we did not think that it was going to get here at some point would be inaccurate. Because while not necessarily predicted, it was certainly suggested that we could get here. As Micah Parsons, the contract negotiations or not negotiations have apparently deteriorated to the point where the star pass rusher for the Cowboys has demanded a trade out of Dallas. He's been quietly vocal about the way things have gone. And on Friday, it appears he's had enough. As we started to have reports coming out through some various social media outlets discussing the fact that this could be happening. And then, as our great Mike Fisher put out, he said, whoa, tap the brakes here. We haven't heard from Micah yet. When Micah's ready for this, he'll say something, and he'll say something very loudly on Twitter/X. And just mere minutes later, Micah Parsons comes out with a statement. Basically, he posted handwritten or notes app on his iPhone, screenshots of the notes app where he pinned this very, very heartfelt message, 3 pages worth on the notes app. If you're familiar with the notes app, you know that's pretty long. But just to let everyone know how fed up and frustrated and disgusted he is to have to make the decision to even threaten to want to move away from the franchise that he grew up adoring with his father and the franchise that drafted him in the first round back in 2021. We're not going to go over the entire post of Micah Parsons, but I thought we would offer you some of the highlights here. Micah posted on X, in part, on Friday, quote, "Yes, I wanted to be here. I did everything I could to show that I wanted to be a Cowboy and wear the star on my helmet. I wanted to play in front of the best fans in sports and make this America's team once again. The team my pops and I grew up cheering for way up in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. Unfortunately, I no longer want to be here. I no longer want to be held to a closed-door negotiations without my agent present. I no longer want shots taken at me for getting injured while laying it on the line for the organization, our fans, and my teammates. I no longer want narratives created and spread to the media about me. I had purposely stayed quiet in hopes of getting something done." End quote. Now, certainly he gave greater detail if you want to go check it out if you haven't already over on Micah Parsons' X account. But basically, that's where we're at with it. Again, I mentioned at the onset here, are we surprised by any of this? No. This is Jerry Jones we're dealing with. And it's how he does business. It's how he did business with the Dak Prescott contract. It's how he did business with the CeeDee Lamb contract. It's how he did business with just about everybody he's had to extend that he's wanted to keep here in Dallas. He waits until the last minute, costing himself and the team millions and tens of $1 million in some cases. Because as I posted, as I commented on an earlier edition of this show a week or so ago, I believe Jerry Jones has cost himself $10 million, almost $10 million a year. We'll see what the final number is if they end up coming together on one. But, that over a 4-year deal, we're probably talking between $35 and $40 million that Jerry has cost himself by waiting this long to extend Micah, if that's now where we go. On Micah's side of this, Is this an odd request? No. It's part of the negotiation process. Look what Myles Garrett did earlier this offseason up in Cleveland. That trade demand for Garrett wanting out of Cleveland was just about as shocking as a Micah Parsons request to be traded out of Dallas. He is Mr. Cleveland Brown right now. He is their best player, offense or defense, hands down. I could make the same argument for Micah Parsons on the Cowboys. He's definitely their best defensive player. He might be the best player on the team. Some of you CeeDee Lamb fans may question that, but it's whatever. It's at least up for argument, right? So no, this is a normal part of negotiations. I don't like when it gets here, but here we are. It's an ugly look for the franchise. In some cases, it can be an ugly look for the player. And all it does is hurt the fans. I mean, that is all any Dallas Cowboys fans are talking about right now. And you've got the majority, of course, of fans on Micah's side. You got a few on Jerry's side. Where do I stand? I guess in the middle somewhere. Sometimes I can see Jerry's side of it. Sometimes I can see Micah's side of it. Does Micah deserve any of this, though? That what Jerry's? No. Micah doesn't deserve the bad comments. I don't know. I never understood that part. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, just go dig a little bit, because Jerry has not been kind to the Micah Parsons narrative during these negotiations. I definitely don't agree with that. But here we are. It's what we're doing now, as the Dallas Cowboys fans well know and are well familiar with. Now, both sides have come out and said there have not been discussions regarding the contract extension. Parsons is set to make $21.324 million in 2025. It's the fifth-year option of his rookie contract as a defensive end, not the reported $24.007 million that he would make if he was a linebacker. Because the Cowboys have him classified as a defensive end, he's making almost $3 million less money in 2025 than he would if he was categorized as a linebacker. Very ticky-tacky by the Cowboys, I think. The Cowboys can hold his rights through 2028 if they use the franchise tag, but, the last year of that tag, if they decided to carry it out, and there's no way Micah Parsons would play under the tag, especially that long, but the final year of that franchise tag, if they decided to do that, would cost them basically what a quarterback would be making. And by then, we're talking $60 million. We've seen the relationship between Parsons and the Cowboys deteriorate tremendously over the past 4 or 5 months, in part because Jerry Jones thought that they were closer than they were for some reason. That's what he's been said. That's what he's been saying. Jerry thought they had a deal that was close to make Parsons the highest paid non-quarterback in the NFL, which of course was the deal that Myles Garrett got earlier in the offseason at $40 million a year. And now, TJ Watt just signed for $41 million a year. So if they decide to come to terms now, it's going to be $42 or $43 million a year for Parsons. I think I mentioned on the podcast a week or so ago that don't be shocked if this thing goes to $45 million a year. And had Jerry done this, I don't know, in March, probably could have got Parsons locked in for around $36 or $37 million a year. But here we are. Right after the season was over, Micah Parsons was very public. He said, "Hey, man, let's talk. Let's do it. Let's get this thing done." That was in early March, late February, right after the Super Bowl. Micah was very public on social media and in interviews on the podcasts. "I'm ready to deal now. Let's do it." But here we are. And we know that it's Jerry Jones. It's just how he deals with players, right? He's worked directly with key players on their contracts, bypassing the agent. And when that works out for the player and things get done quickly, I think the players don't mind that so much. But when things start to go south and deteriorate, that's where we are with Micah. And he thinks that, Jerry Jones and the team maybe is just doing that to take advantage of him. And when things take this long, go this long without any progress whatsoever, I can understand why the player would think that way. But it is what it is. It's part of the negotiation process for Micah. And then Jerry's just playing ball like Jerry always does. None of this should be surprising to anybody. I don't know that anybody, especially me, I didn't predict that it would get to this point. But I believe I mentioned it and said it would not shock me at all to see it get to this before the season starts. So here we are. What does that mean for the upcoming season? I have no freaking idea. I don't know if Mike is going to play. I don't know how active he's going to be in any practices, in the rest of training camp, preseason. Who knows? We'll find out as we get there. And we, of course, will discuss it more and more here on the Dallas Cowboys Daily Blitz, right here on FanStream Sports. Appreciate you guys hanging with us. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section. What you think about Micah versus Jerry. So we just put the boxing gloves on him. Who wants to see Micah Parsons waylay Jerry Jones with a right cross with some boxing gloves on in a ring wearing the little boxing shorts? Who wants to see Jerry in boxing shorts? Kind of like to see that. Let's talk about it. Find me on social media at IndyCarTim. Until next time, right here on the Dallas Cowboys Daily Blitz, boys and girls. We'll see you.